Shared suffering. We're going to be taking a look at this one today because I consider it to be one of the more challenging scenarios. Last time we did bleak times, and I hope that one helped you out with a few tips and tricks. One thing I noticed is that this one is pretty default because they need the map to be exactly the same. However, let's go back to it, shared suffering, you can actually customize it a little bit. You can change the game settings. We're just going to leave everything at default, but I also noticed that you can pick your map. Not that we're really going to, we're just going to roll a few times, and you can even customize your settlement name. I'm just going to leave it as shared suffering so that I know in my save files which one is which, and we're just going to get into it. So the main objective of this one is that Arthur is at a separate settlement, which is in kind of dire times, and he's relying on you to help him. So we're going to pause the game immediately and agree to help him out and take a look around. And because there are random map seeds for this one, yours isn't going to look identical to mine, but we're just going to go over a few principles. At least with this one, we're just getting started as a normal game would, so we can kind of go with our typical build of water and food and farming and protective clothing and things like that. But the challenge comes from these tolls and being able to stockpile enough in the first place. So they want me to store 5,000 food in the first place, but then they're going to take 4,000 of it. They want me to store 10,000 water, but then they're going to take 9,000 of it. So similar to a raider toll, it's more about being able to bounce back after you've already stored that amount of food. If you really wanted to, because this is going to be automatic. As soon as this checks off, they just take it. So what you could always do until you're feeling safe is maybe make this a cap of 9,000 so that you don't even reach that 10,000 yet until you feel safe to do so. You could also come down here and make this like 4,900 and they won't even be able to take it. So this icon will pop up that you need to increase your production limit to even reach that. But we're just going to I'm going to kind of skip the typical build, going through the motions and all that. You guys have seen it, you're familiar with it. I'm going to get kind of a stable community going here and then increase this so I can pay off the toll. And like I said, not feeling comfortable being able to produce it, it's more like feeling comfortable being able to bounce back immediately after. So we'll just go from here. Okay, so we're just about to get started here with a pretty standard build. I want my jetty going in first, my cistern, a fishing hut, and then I've got a couple farm fields here that were already cleared, so I'm able to activate right away. Double beans just for now for the higher yield, and I've got my 28 by 32 square here. This can later fit 4 refineries if I wanted to. This one is a 15 by 13 cultivated field. This one is an 11 by 16. This one is a 15 by 14. And this is an orchard at 11 by 16. So eventually, once this goes in, this would be double beans because it's a higher yield, and then this one would be whatever smaller, so the beets just for variety, and then the only orchard seed I have at the moment. I've just found that I really like this build because it's a bit of future proofing. And then my cabins are just out of range of anything with a negative influence. They're a little bit of a walking distance, but I'm not too worried about that on medium, just standard difficulty. Everything resource is going to go up here, which will eventually be moved to kind of this area for the workspace. I like these mountains here to trim down the workspace a little bit to be more efficient. That way they're not walking all over the place. I've got my temporary storeroom here to be easily transferable to the charcoal kiln, which can come right down to kind of my craftable resources right here. I haven't put down my tailor shops or my workshops yet because those aren't going to come for a little bit anyway, and I'd rather clear out this scrap first. I don't want to drop anything over free scrap. So I chose this place first because this will have a pretty generous amount. I'm looking good at like 700 over here to clear up. Though I'll probably put the area of work kind of right here-ish when it first goes up so I can get that stuff cleared out of the way first. Then I've got plenty to the north here, more over here if I really wanted to reach for it. and then eventually probably a second scrapyard down here to start. I mean, medium difficulty is really generous on the scrap. I'm surprised. Yeah, it's a gas station ruin, but I'm surprised I don't have to scout it and clear it out first. This one is the only interesting location, which looks like fast food restaurant. I'll have to scout that before I can scrap it. And I mean, yeah, I've got plenty of area to expand with these scrap yards. Looking good there. So my main plan for water is to just start getting these cisterns going. I've left this at cistern, though, automatically just put this as water tower, because by the time I need it, I don't really see a point in making a second cistern and then water tower. I would rather just kind of keep this full until I get that plastic for this water tower and some coal. And then I've got uh, plenty of room over here for maybe like one and yeah, probably two more. I could probably have like 4 water towers here comfortably, and that's about all I'll need. I can always expand down here for some more water, especially once this irrigator is working. I could have something right here so the walking distance is short for that. So that is pretty much it. We're just going to be going for fish and vegetables for now. I don't think I'm even going to set up the hunter's hut in medium difficulty because this is already 100% efficiency. I could always get that second fishing hut going. But we'll see how we do on food. And then my housing will kind of start expanding this way-ish. If I really wanted to, I could tuck some more up here and get some decorations or a campfire down for that positive influence against the negative. And we're looking good. So we're at season 6 here. I've got all 4 fields working, and then I've changed these 2 to beans and this one to beets. The orchard just went up. I don't think it's going to be able to do much before that first drought, but that's okay. I did set up a second cistern because this was just capped, and I don't want people doing nothing. So for the full ones, I've also reduced that workforce to just 1, so that with 4 water carriers, 3 of them are focusing on the not capped one, and only 1 person is just going to kind of keep this topped off for now. So Forester's Lodge is up and just set to cut down only. All of my tasks are gone because I can have 4 farmers and 2 fishers for now. I've got housing up enough to, I believe, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yep. So I've still got all adults in houses, and then put that campfire down for the double happiness buff, attractive surroundings, and social contract or contacts or contracts or whatever it is. School is up, so we can start getting people educated as quickly as possible. These 5 kids still have plenty of time to get in and out of school. Only 1 teacher, and I've kind of dropped to 1 builder because we're doing fine on the buildings. The next thing I'm going to start focusing on is a recycler, just pumping out cloth for this first tailor shop, and I believe radiation is going to be pretty forgiving as far as like a medium setting goes. So we're just going to focus on those neck scarves to start getting people at least geared up for kind of phase 2 of this, when I believe they asked for a ton of carbon masks. So otherwise we're looking pretty good. So after they requested the masks and I was producing cloth right here, I made those masks and then immediately set this to plastic because I want these upgraded to water towers as quickly as possible because they're already being irradiated. I also wanted an irrigator going in, and because of that irrigator, I don't want them traveling all the way over here to take water from a contaminated cistern. So I built 1 well right here, right on their path, and I set this irrigator to only take water from the well. So ideally no one's coming over here to drink from it, I'm hoping. And this is just temporarily irradiated because a tiny bit of water got in here already and started spreading it to the farms, but that should fix itself pretty soon. I also got my decontamination post set up as quickly as possible with someone burning coal originally for those masks, but I don't mind stockpiling a bunch because I'm going to need it for water towers and decontamination anyway. I'm just going to make sure this field of work is covering everything it needs to. Probably right about here, I should go to this temporary storeroom and just turn off food in general. I think, even though it'd be decontaminated, I want people traveling to the bus anyway. So we've got a few contamination problems, but by season 12, having water towers up and a decontamination post should fix that. Common, I guess, culprit for decontaminated food is the fishing hut, depending on how the water's doing, which is contaminated. But that's why this will fix that pretty quick. They just requested the tools like as this finished, so I switched it to metal, and I'd already been producing some, obviously, to get this up in the first place. So basically, as far as recyclers go, my priority was cloth, just to get through that first quest and to get a few people in neck scarves. I've even got a neck scarf in stock. Then I immediately went to plastic. Then the second recycler is going to be metal until this tools quest is done. I'll probably go to double plastic once I can go back to scrap tools. And then this third one was cloth, to just keep getting people in neck scarves. So radiation should not be a problem here for very long. As far as food goes, I could still get a fourth person here, then set up another one. That would be 8 fishers and 4 people farming. If I've got that capped out and I still have problems with food, then I would say it's time to go for hunting and possibly pastures over here. But we're going to expand kind of this way with our resources, though still being as close to as possible to the bus. They'll be gathering scrap, bringing it right to the bus, and then bringing it right here. So that should be pretty efficient. A season 16 or so, yeah, season 16 drought is just finished, and I think I'm actually at the point where I'm comfortable paying this toll. I'm a little low on water, but I just put a bunch of people back on water carriers, and with 2 water towers, that would be exactly 10k, but I think I'll be able to bounce back pretty quickly because I don't have a drought anytime soon. I'm definitely fine on food with 2 fishing huts, a hunter's lodge, and these farms working. In fact, I'm currently capped. So I think what I'm going to do is come in here and increase that water storage to about 15,000 and my food to about 15,000. And as soon as these are capped out, it's going to take that toll. Now is kind of the time to do it because I don't want to pay that toll and immediately hit a drought. That would certainly hurt. So, and I also kind of took people off unnecessary stuff. And in fact, right now, I haven't had any deaths. So I've got the graveyard up, or the cemetery, but I don't think I'm even going to have a mortician there at the moment. Fishing I want, farming I want, hunting I want to be able to bounce back. Scrap collecting I've reduced. Yeah, why don't we take a few people off scrap collecting. I already took a few people off foresting. I got that second one up, and after so much cut down only, I've set one to reforest and cut down and reforest because I'm going to want, still doing fine on medicine, but I'm going to want an actual forest here to gather from for both a gatherer's cabin and an herbal hut, even though I don't have anyone assigned there right now. Here's a few more, so a few more for water carrying, and in fact, buildings aren't too in demand right now. I'm just trying to get those cabins up, and then a shelter. That will be my 16th cabin, and I think I'm going to kind of pause there for now. Population has been rising pretty quickly. Got the trading post going in here ASAP. So I think we're just going to do this. I'm pretty comfortable with how my production is. So why don't we just go through with these, especially with that orchard fully matured, and just gathering food from that. That's going to help me bounce back pretty quick. The other thing I could do immediately, yep, food is already stored. Got the water going. And in fact, with food doing so well, I think I'll take my hunters and just, I really want people filling up these water towers. And I'm actually going to, with the amount of plastic I have, I'm going to unpause another water tower. And it should be usable by the time it's time for me to pay that toll. I'm actually going to go build next on that. I'm taking resources over here. The other thing I'm getting a little concerned about is housing. This seems to be the way I kind of want to extend, though I think this is going to be the wall right here. I don't want to go any further that way. And that's why I decided to kind of put this whole technology hub up here in a second scrapyard. There's a bunch of scrap to be gathering over here with the temporary storeroom. Is that I felt like I was expanding this way a little too much with my housing all down here. So a little housing hub could go up here just for people that are going to end up working in pastures. But Just the mountains and the lakes are kind of getting in the way. I'm fine with this being a hub for trees and everything. That's already up. Let's turn on that filter. Got plenty of people working. Food is stabilizing. It's more about like how quickly it's rising, which isn't very fast right now. At least I'll have some in stock for when I have to pay that 5,000. Let's just keep getting people on water until we're ready to go here. More people on water, everyone on water. This is already full, this one's nearly full, and this one's filling up. Okay, here we go. At least water is rising quickly. More people on water. After I'm done with... Yep, there we go. So it's automatic. There's his first delivery. He took it all. And let's see what they want next. So they're going to want more food, more water, and 100 activated carbon masks. So it is time to expand on tailoring. And what I'm probably going to do here, let's check radiation. Radiation has been pretty forgiving, so those neck scarves are doing fine, but they're being eaten up pretty quickly. Obviously, that's going to be solved by electricity. So, same thing here. I'm really not in too big of a rush, though it doesn't hurt to start early. I'm going to get 2 more tailor shops going, and that's why I want my population to keep expanding. And it's probably going to be... but they can't take it though anyway. With how radiation is doing, it's probably going to be double neck scarf and a carbon mask. And then what I'm going to do is come over here and just prohibit them from taking the carbon masks until I can save up 100 of those. If you had like a huge surplus of them, you could just always go radiation suit and allow them to just be taking that, because you'll probably have the resources for it by then. But this is basically the only way to get through it, or people just keep chewing through them, and you're not actually making a stockpile of them for Arthur. So I'm not... I'll keep an eye on radiation. I'm really not in a rush to do this until I have my expedition and research stations up, and I've already researched electricity and advanced tailor shops, and I'm starting to get some of those research utensils out of the way. So this is probably going to be the longest one, the longest stretch, to be honest. Did I lose a teacher? Someone die? Yep, here comes the first wave of old age. So it's time to start replacing some people. And obviously that means I want a mortician. Start clearing up those bodies. Luckily they're all kind of right here in the same spot. And we're just going to go like this for a bit. Being able to activate these quests will also help a lot. They want me to produce 6 and they're going to reward me with 18. So that'll still trigger the quest, but they're not actually going to be able to take them. So I'm actually already at 26 out of 100. And I've got my second tailor shop up, which I'm going to fully employ. I've dropped this to just one person because it's not exactly my priority. I just kind of want that constant production. And still, with how we're doing on radiation, which is basically a non-issue, that's going to be just fine. I've just hit another drought, so it's time to drop a bunch of water carriers. I have relocated this, but I want that second one going up here pretty soon. Luckily, the temporary storeroom is up, and I've already started building my research station and switch this back to metal tools. And I want them to not take them. Where's my bus? Here we go. So I've actually deactivated metal tools. So for during the drought will be a great time. You know, some scrap collectors died of age. Let's check deaths again. Still quite fertile. Yep. These initial kind of waves of deaths from old age are going to be coming in, so it's important to keep an eye on that with your mortician. The last thing I want is a disease to break out at the moment. I'm going to keep those in stock, and I've got a couple pastures up, which I've already gone to goat and chickens. I love starting with milk and eggs. That is going to be great for food production, and I'm just going to leave the other ones paused for now. My first trade came through and I took those expedition rations. I've decided to actually stagger these a little bit. It almost feels like if I get them up simultaneously, I'm a little bit research starved. And the other thing I want to get up to hopefully get a free knowledge pretty quickly is a forum. I don't think anything else is going to go right here anyway, and it'll be easy to find. It's also right next to housing. That's also something to consider. You might as well use that positive influence. So actually, if I were to put it right here, it's close enough that just about everything gets a nice little buff from that. Because to be honest, with this positive influence, I could actually drop a scrapyard down here like I've been wanting to anyway, and I don't have to worry about the negative influence on that. So why don't we put that right there, activate that. I've got plenty of metal for it, which has already been called, and scrap is just kind of my biggest issue right now. Hoping that can go in pretty soon. It's probably because I let it drop to 2 people there. This is back down to cut and reforest, both of them, because I got a good amount of trees to grow back. Definitely stuff here to gather for some herbs. I'm doing fine on medicine. The next thing here pretty soon to think about is a hospital. I don't know why I don't rush those. I guess it's a little bit of a lower priority than usual. This needs to be activated. I also put a water tower up here just to feed the pastures. And I wish there was a way to decide where you want them gathering water from, but at least this is filtered. I could have done a well, but I'm not too worried about it. And in fact, I'm going to drop this to like 2 or 3 people because it's literally just to provide to pastures. So we're looking pretty good here. With double mass going, I don't think they're going to complain about protective clothing again anytime soon, though I kind of like that quest being procced. Said I get such a reward towards that. But it's only been a couple seasons and I'm a quarter of the way through it. Tools definitely haven't exactly been the focus here. It's more like protective clothing. In season 33, and I'm just about to come out of a drought here. Lakes are just about to fill up and I can get water going again. I think I'm ready to ship this. I'm at 90 out of 100 carbon masks, and I've got 2 tailor shops working on it. One on radiation suits, though it's not even necessary, and another on scarves. And I've got a really good surplus of scarves, not even through trades or anything. They've just been pumping them out, and that's all I need for radiation protection. So we're going to get just about as many people on water as we can here, because by the time I get that last bit of water, I should have the mask done already, and I'm just going to keep prohibiting them because if I remember correctly, that's the next stage as well. So we'll take that toll, and actually I want to check the production limit. It's only 100, so I'm just going to up it to 150 for now, which I believe is even the next toll. So what else do I not need here? Farmers, yes. I could drop to 2 gatherers. I'm really not that worried about food. I don't need any hunters. I only need 2 morticians in case one dies. I only need 1 medic. If anything, I want to get this just capped out as quick as possible. And in fact, this one I can upgrade or reallocate max. I'll leave that there. Scrap collectors, I'm doing fine on scrap. In fact, just needs to be refined right now. So let's get that up. Researchers I want to leave. Teachers I can drop back down a little bit. I only need 1 decontaminator. Okay, so that's fine. Trade just finished. I'm done with advanced schools. Researching it, that is, and I've just clicked upgrade a second ago. So we're going to wait for that. My expedition station should be coming up here any minute. I'm currently at 4 cloth, 2 metal, and 2 plastic. I put 2, though it actually feels a little overkill. I'll go to 1 more cloth, because I just want these to just keep getting crafted. I'm at 96. That should finish that up pretty soon. Only 2 more. And we just had a wave of age deaths again, so those are getting cleaned up, but otherwise these are the first and only deaths. Now that, I mean, I'm only fighting green radiation here, luckily. That's why you want to get this done quick, because I would not want to be fighting yellow or red radiation along with trying to get rid of all my carbon masks. Okay, so that is officially done, but I'm just going to let him keep pumping them out. Great. Let's see which one it was. I don't want that to last for very long. It's only red, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as it's still working. Seems I'm only dropping in water. Just keep allocating people to water for now. I don't even have fishers. I'm not worried about the food. And even when that toll goes through, it's only going to be half my food. If I were to cap it 15,000 here pretty soon. Got those pastures up. That's going to help a lot with the food. I don't even need the hunters anymore. I really only use them for capturing for the pastures, and then this is far more efficient. Don't have to worry about changing their place of work and everything. In fact, I'm doing pretty good on coal. More water carriers, more water carriers. We got a little well working away, doing its best. Let's check what this trade is. Tomato seed. I'll take it, though I don't really need it. Can I even trade for this? Yikes. This might be a bad trade. I kind of wish these kind of things weren't put in together, especially when you don't even have the capability to do it right now. Could I even... that would just take so long to actually produce and give it to him. You know what? I'll just take some expedition rations. Try to give him 17. That's not even going to move it. What can I get for... Yay. Wait, oh, because I was going to say. Alright. Just go with this for now. I've got the neck scarves to spare. Alright, water's really going up now. I don't think I even need 5 builders. I just want to push this over as soon as possible. And really the next thing I'm thinking about is trying to get... And that expedition station is up. So I really wish I had the people for it. Let's drop to 4 here. 4 here. That actually gives me 4 scouts. 2 for scouting, 2 for making expedition rations. Here's my favorite spot. Let's go right to corner shop. And the next thing I typically try to do is an end zone, so we can get those explorer badges. If we have an end zone on this map. Huh. Wow. I think that's the first time I've seen that. It would be surprising. Military base. Not even sure what that is. This should be pub, I believe. House ruin. This I think is doctor's office ruin. That's gonna be one of my first locations. Though I'm surprised I'm not seeing end zone. Fast food restaurant. Construction site. You know what? Alright. I'm not going to linger here too long. Let's just go here. Okay. And then I'm just going to leave 2 free scouts to make those rations. So, alright. Water's really taken off. I should be able to get that up pretty soon. Each of these have the capability to store 5,000, so I have at least 20,000 here, which is more than enough. And then part of this toll is that I'm going to want to leave a bunch of people on water to bounce back quickly. There we go. All right. That was a last-minute rescue. The good news is the doctors have meanwhile identified the viral strain, and we know what we have to do to treat the disease. Great. Bad news is we don't have sufficient medicine. Okay, so they're going to want 20,000 water next time, so I'm definitely going to have to expand my water surplus. I could probably put another one up here, and I'm also thinking about expanding here and possibly down here, so we'll worry about that later. The next thing is food. Easy enough. I'm doing great on food. Another 150 masks. So to save on plastic, since I'm really not fighting any radiation, if anything it's green, I was kind of future proofing with the radiation suits, but I don't think I even need it. and medicine stored. What's even my cap on medicine at the moment? Yeah. So this definitely has to be increased. I'll probably increase it to like 2,000 so that I'm also pumping it out for my own people. And I can get that done pretty easily. Medicine, carbon masks. I think I'm just going to leave it at 2 and try to get this done as quick as possible. And I'll expand on my food a little bit. Well, no, my water a little bit. Okay, that's it. So let's see how this goes, and I'll check back in if I have any tips. Just wanted to add this in because I feel like I rarely see church ruin on any maps that's not a scenario, and this is certainly the first time I've ever found a research utensil at it. So I was just curious. I mean, it required a well keeper badge, which I feel like I never see on expeditions, and the explorer badge, which I unfortunately didn't bring. That's kind of what happens when you don't have Endzone on your map. So why don't we check this out? Priest living quarters, and it requires the explorer badge. So I might be coming back here. I tried to bring young people here in case they get an explorer badge from being here. That would actually be interesting. So why don't we since it looks like I'm not going to get that anyway, why don't we explore around here and see if we can get an explorer badge while we're here. Found some holy water. And let's check the main gateway. Prayer hall requires a scrap collector badge. Look at that. We got the explorer badge. So before I waste any more, and now it's complete. Priest living quarters. Some iodine tablets, another mask, and a research utensil. Great. So I still have 4 action points, so let's go finish this up really quick. Some cloth, I'll take it. And that is that. Really don't need to bring water back. I want the metal, the medicine, the cloth, the tablets. Okay, I can carry everything. And so here is my status currently. I only have 10 more masks to go. So with the medicine, I thought one medical facility was capable of pumping it out. However, it seems that the inventory max for one medical facility is 1,000 medicine. So I can't even go any higher than this anyway. So I've got a second one going in with priority. I'm going to have all 6 medics ready to go because I have plenty of herbs in stock. They just need to be made into medicine. Food is looking all right. So as soon as I resolve that, I've pretty much got the masks. Food. What could I do to bump up my food production a little bit? I did just get buffalo from a trade, and they haven't even started to be slaughtered yet. It's still producing the milk, so I'm pretty confident once I get those done and fully stocked and being slaughtered, that should really make my food spike. I got everyone back on hunting. Fishing is capped out, though I could throw another fishing hut down here, in fact, if I really wanted to, just for the bulk. Gathering is doing okay. I threw gather wood out here just to keep people busy during this previous drought, but I don't even need it. I don't really need the gather plants anyway because I'd rather just fully load my gather's cabin. So why don't we do that? And here's one more. And pretty much everything is fully staffed except for these. I could always just like build these and move extra cows over. Once you already have them in a pasture, I believe they can just be moved from there into a new one and start reproducing as well. So let's get the second medical facility done. I'm currently researching my wind turbine, which I feel like I'm not even going to need for the tailor shops because they're just doing so well anyway. I've got a surplus of scarves, though we are officially in yellow radiation here. So I've gone over to
radiation suits and oh, okay, that's just for repairing. Yeah, we just had a sandstorm come through. So, yeah, I really need that cloth badly. And in fact, now that we're done with that quest, let's go back to cloth over here. I do need the plastic pretty bad. They should not be. Were they producing that for an expedition? No. Oh, okay, they're already coming back. So let's allow metal tools to be taken and go back to scrap tools for both of these. I don't need metal tools anymore. Yep, and we're looking pretty good. So I will check back in just before that completes. Do I have anything? A vague message. Interesting. Oh, additional settlers join the settlement. I do not want that. And research in electricity. Great. I think they just want electronics done, so that's always free to take. Okay, here we are. So I've only got a little bit more food to produce and a little bit more medicine now that this second facility is up. So just to increase the food a little bit, I actually doubled up on a buffalo pasture for the milk as well as chickens for the eggs. And I'm just about to complete that. It's definitely going up, and medicine is almost done as well. We are in yellow radiation, and I've only seen one raider, or I've only paid one raider toll. So I got that hooked up to electricity, though it doesn't really matter. I already had the 150 masks ready to go anyway, and then I transferred everything to radiation suits. So that's pretty much it. We're just going to let this ride. And let's just actually check deaths really quick. Luckily, radiation is so forgiving that no one died of anything but age. Fertility's doing fine. Half my people are in neck scarves and half are in radiation suits, which is no one really got a mask this game. And then 50% has the metal tools, 100% educated. We're looking pretty good here. So I hope this helped at all, or you learned something from this. I mean, my biggest tip is to just get through it as quick as possible. This should be easily completable by season 50, as long as you're not simultaneously trying to pass out masks to your people while storing it. Medicine really wasn't a big deal. Not many people are sick anyway. And expeditions helped a little bit. If you can get that early tech, though, I think this is doable even without the electricity. And I never even had a chance to upgrade my tailor shops anyway. It's researching right now, but it's not even going to matter. Let's see what they have. You want a bunch of mushrooms, some wood. Not that this even really matters. Have 2 metal. Will you agree to a bad deal? Thanks. All right. Food, come on. I really have nothing else. You know what I could do is just harvest now, harvesting, harvesting, harvesting. Okay, well, just gotta wait. 150 food to go. There we go. Got their water, got their food, got their masks, got their medicine. Awesome. All right, and that's it. Thanks for watching.